Robert Wright,
I'm Levi Fair.
and this is LNR Sports Talk, brought to you by Amanda's Creations. You can check them out on Facebook. Just go in there and search for Amanda's Creations. It's the one that pops up with the tan and blue business card right next to it. Yeah, they're the ones who have provided us with these awesome cups. They're also providing us with the raffle, but we'll get more into that a little later. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at LR_Sports Talk, or you can look for us on Facebook and follow us on Facebook, and that's just facebook.com/LR Sports Talk. If you check out our Facebook, we've actually got a new website up. You can click on the Learn More button, and that'll take you directly to our website. So,
Alright, that's out of the way here. This episode is basically going to focus on college football. Obviously, there's a lot to go over in the NFL, but it was rivalry week in college football this week, and so we felt like we should have a special episode designated just for that kind of stuff. So, with that being said, we'll just go through a few notable scores here. Obviously, we love Texas Tech, so we're going to start off with them knocking off Baylor 54-35 in what could be Patrick Mahomes' last game.
could be,
might
could
not
be, very well may be. If I had to guess, that was an audition.
Yeah.
That was an audition.
Yeah.
He put up some
Video game numbers.
Yeah.
Video game numbers. That was insane. I think he had, 6 touchdown passes, something like that?
Something like that. I
And
don't
then
know the
almost
actual
6
stats on it, but it was amazing. We can look those up and get into detail on that a little later.
Because guns up. So,
Absolutely. You know we're going to have a tech segment.
yeah,
So
absolutely. And then you get LSU, Texas A&M. Obviously, with all the news surrounding LSU, whether they were going to choose Tom Herman or if they were going to stick with Ed Orgeron, all that kind of stuff, that didn't matter to the team as the score was a lot closer than what the game actually was at 54-39.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
LSU was just blowing them out.
A&M came back there in the last few minutes and kind of put a couple points on the board,
Yeah,
but
and that was just like pity points.
that's
whatever you
exactly
call
what
it.
that
It's
was. You can't count those as real points.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Number 5, Washington, taking on number 23, Washington State. I know, and I'll own up to it. I called this weeks in a row
You did.
that Washington State was going to win,
You
and
did.
I was horribly mistaken.
I told you to wait on that one, and I'm glad I did, because that was, man, that wasn't even a game. I don't know what happened to Mike
That was
Leach's team,
horrible.
but they did not come to
It was
play
what,
that game.
28-7 in the first quarter or something like that.
It was, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
We were watching at work, and I'm just like, man, Robert's going to give me so much crap for this one.
Yeah, Washington definitely put the points on the board. They kept the points on the board. They were never behind in the game. And they dominated, is the best way to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Leach's team just, as much as we love Leach, he didn't come to play, I guess. I don't know what else to say about that. You've also got Air Force Academy knocking off number 16 BSU 27-20.
Boise State.
Boise State, yeah. That was, I didn't actually get to watch that game,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I don't know who all got to watch that game. There were so many just huge games this weekend that
but yeah,
he
that's-
would have trumped this one,
that was the top 25 going down by a non-ranked. Speaking of top 25s going down to non-ranked teams, Houston, number 20, getting knocked off by Memphis.
Yep.
48-44, which from the looks of it, it didn't look like Tom Herman was looking for another job. But I guess when you switch it over to the TCU UT game, Charlie Strong
Yeah.
wasn't looking to keep his job, and that
That's exactly
ultimately.
right. I was watching the Houston game, and I was sitting here like, dude, Tom Herman's going to blow this. He's going to blow it, because he had, at that point, they didn't make the LSU thing official yet. So he had LSU, he had Texas to look forward to, and it was almost like he didn't care what was going to happen in the Memphis game.
Well, did
Because
you
he knew
see-
he was going to get paid.
Did you see that there was all kinds of people trying to interview him before that Memphis game when he was getting off of the bus and headed to the locker room?
That's ridiculous.
There's all kinds of people interviewing him, asking about his next job, and he finally got to the point where he was like, look, I'm not going to talk about any job offers. This is the job I have. This is the only job that matters. These kids, this game, that's all that matters. I mean, he was getting pretty ticked off with it, so I don't...
I would be too. If I'm getting off of the bus right before a game and there's that much media,
Yeah, that was...
there needs to be a restriction on that. That's not.
They just absolutely surrounded him and asking about it, which was not a great way to handle it, but...
Yeah.
But anyways, if you moved over to TCU and UT, if you watch that game, that was basically Herman's job got sealed by Charlie
Yeah.
Strong's lack of
I didn't
coaching.
get to watch much of that game, honestly.
No, I forget what other game was on during that one, but
I just saw like the first quarter. It was like 7-3, and it was just a bad game at that point.
it wasn't good. They
And
ended
then
up
obviously
losing,
TCU decided or like figured it out, and they started scoring more and more and more. So
which isn't much because TCU is not the team that they've been.
that's
So-
exactly right.
So 31-9, that's kind of a big deal, and of course UT officially fired Charlie Strong. Now
Are we still sure about that? Are we
I'm
still
pretty
sure?
sure. I'm pretty sure we're sure, but we're sure.
Okay.
That's pretty much how that goes. I mean, that guy got just drugged through the ringer
He
with
did.
that stuff.
Oh
and
my
I feel,
gosh, I feel bad for the guy.
I hate UT, but I honestly I feel bad for Charlie Strong
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That was the way UT handled that was not. It wasn't good.
Professional.
It wasn't professional.
Yeah,
It wasn't good.
unprofessional.
I didn't agree with that at all. And I feel
just-
bad for him, but
The fact that like Charlie Strong told one reporter one thing, and then UT on the other hand is like, oh no, we haven't fired you yet.
yeah.
Where was the miscommunication in that meeting last Sunday? You know what I mean?
It had to have been with the boosters if I had to
Yeah.
guess. Boosters weren't happy with anything, and boosters at
Boosters
UT
are
talk.
never happy with anything in Austin. Those guys are horrible, dude.
But what it did is it sealed the job for Tom Herman. So Tom Herman is a new old Longhorn.
Yep. He's an assistant under Matt Brown, wasn't he? Yeah.
Under Mac Brown. So he goes back to UT, his alma mater, for graduate degree, I guess. And it's gonna looks like I'm actually really interested. I don't like UT, but I'll probably be watching a few games of theirs next year just to see how Herman does after leaving
Yeah.
22-5 in Houston.
Yeah.
I mean,
22-4.
22. Well, I think was it 22-4 before the Memphis game?
Yeah. No, it was after the Memphis
After
game.
the
'cause
Memphis
I saw
game?
it yesterday, and it said that it was 22-4.
So I did see something.
Either way, fantastic record.
Oh yeah,
He's-
absolutely, no doubt about it.
Especially with taking down teams like Florida State in the Chick-fil-A Bowl last year, and then you get Oklahoma to start off the season this year. Obviously,
them down.
Louisville two weeks ago.
Yeah,
You just
I think he's going to be a tremendous coach, and you put the recruiting power of UT behind him.
forget,
I think.
forget
we
Big
better
Game
look
Bob, man. It's Big Game Tom now. Golly.
Yeah, we better look out. That's going to be
That's going to suck.
it's going to be rough once he gets his team in there.
What else we got?
Oh, NC State and
Yes.
University of North Carolina.
Yes.
That game it was a one touchdown, 28-21. NC State won that game and actually became bowl eligible with that win. That was their 6th on the season. The thing that was the greatest is I think it was like through the second quarter, it was one of NC State's offensive possessions, and their quarterback threw the ball. They thought they had completed it. Guys running, the ball gets stripped, or he wasn't running, he was about to run. The ball gets stripped and it pops out, and you've got this pile, and the ball keeps scooting out of the pile, and everybody's jumping back on the pile, and a fight actually broke out, and one of the Tar Heels got ejected for what was deemed an incomplete pass instead of a fumble. It wasn't even a fumble that they were fighting over. The refs called it an incomplete pass, which was the right call. But rivalry week.
Rivalry week.
At its best.
I still love that commercial. I have got to find that commercial and show you. I'm pretty sure it's got Charles Barkley, but I'm not 100% sold on that one.
I mean, it wouldn't be rivalry week without
Rivalry week.
without a bench clearing brawl, which is exactly what they gave us. I'm not usually an NC State fan, but
Yeah.
kudos to
With,
them for the fight. That was a over an incomplete pass. Gotta love it.
What else we got? Arizona State. Arizona took that one 56-35. I didn't catch much of that one, honestly.
I did not either.
I was at work the majority of Saturday, which sucks really bad because on rivalry week, I feel like I'm not even kidding you, I was telling this to my customers. I was like, you know what? I think we should be closed on Saturday of rivalry week. That should just be nationwide
Agreed.
law. We need
It's
to
a
be
holiday,
closed.
man. It's a
Yeah,
holiday.
that's exactly right. Those are the best games of the season, and they're gonna have us working all day. Ooh, I was
No,
not
you
happy.
definitely missed some good
I
games.
was not happy.
Definitely missed some good games. Like Florida State dominating Florida.
Oh my
Over
gosh.
number 14 over number 15. They showed that.
How many years in a
One
row is
place.
that for Florida State?
Ooh.
I think like 5 years in a row.
Ooh,
something
that is
like
a good question. Let's ask the Googler. I actually did not. I did know that there's something interesting while I was watching that game is the Florida State has a cemetery for all the sod that they have played bowl games in. So they take a piece of grass and they put it in it's called the Florida
That's creepy,
State.
dude.
The Florida State Sod Cemetery.
That's
Yeah.
so weird. That's creepy. Florida State just lost the rest of my respect that I had for them. That's weird.
No, it's extremely weird.
That's like, why would you do that?
I have no idea, but I mean, it was interesting.
Look, man, Tech is crazy. We're got like crazy fans and stuff like that, but we ain't like weird kind of crazy. We're just crazy. You know what I mean?
Look it up. It's a real weird thing. I mean, it's kind of creepy. They showed cemetery. All that was on the sign on the TV was cemetery, and then I saw it said sod cemetery, and I was like, oh, all right. Well, that's weird. I actually can't find how many years in a row they beat them, but
I'm thinking it's like 5 or 6 in a row now.
let's go with that.
Because if you go back to like Jameis Winston, that was 3 years ago, something like that. So that's 3 that they've won in a row. I know that they beat them last year and obviously this year. So that's 3.
For the 4th year in a row.
4th year.
Yep.
There we go.
4th year in a row.
Close.
Well, that's not bad.
Right.
So congratulations to the Knowles.
Alabama, Auburn. Again, another one of those that I called horribly, horribly wrong.
Horribly wrong, man.
I'm just gonna stop guessing on these games because I don't ever get them right.
Bama's
So-
number 1 in the nation for a reason.
Yeah, but it's rivalry week. There's a difference.
This is true.
Doesn't matter.
This is true, but
Rankings go out the window. For all I care, rankings go out the window.
Okay.
Rivalry.
I can agree with that, except for this week when there was a lot that that
A
they
lot
ran for a
happened.
reason.
That happened. Alabama rolls, roll tide, all that kind of stuff. They roll against Auburn this year. Ohio State, Michigan. What a game, dude. That's one of those games you just sit there and you just have to appreciate how good every bit of that game was, except for one call.
That game definitely got intense, and it wasn't. It came down to one call, but throughout the entire game, man, there were lots of botched officiating calls in that game that ended up to an Ohio State eventual victory in double overtime, 30-27.
Man,
That was
man,
bad. I watched that play over and over and over again where
he was short, man.
oh, he was definitely short. He was at least a foot short,
Mm-hmm.
if I had to guess. I mean,
My question is, in every other game, we would have had a sideline view of that. Where was it in this game? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It wasn't good. I mean, congratulations to Ohio State for winning that game.
Yes.
But, I think it honestly should have never gone to overtime. Michigan should have gotten that, should have never gone to, never should have gone to overtime in the first place.
Because
I'll be
Ohio
honest with
State
you.
hit that field goal at the last second.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
And then went into overtime. Which, Michigan, obviously, they ended up ultimately losing the game, but they almost blew it on 4th down and goal. Remember?
in
They throw it. The throw it, the dude in the back of the end zone barely gets it.
yeah,
Like, he barely had it.
was that the first overtime?
Yeah, first overtime.
Yeah,
And then the second overtime,
was they
they
kicked the
kicked
field goal and then
Ohio State scored a touchdown.
yeah, that was that blown 4th down call was there in that second overtime, and that was just that was.
What sucks is that it was the very next play that won it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't even go 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down again. It was the very next play.
Yeah.
You know,
I know if you're Harbaugh, you're not very happy right now.
obviously.
I don't know
So
if you watched any of his
actually,
press interviews or anything.
I
but,
watched it. He was
press
upset.
conferences.
That man was upset. I actually just saw something here. Big Ten fines Michigan $10,000 and reprimands Jim Harbaugh for a post game. I don't know what you would call it.
A rant?
Him being ticked off. Really, really ticked off.
Dude, he was mad. I would be too. I mean, you blew that call. The refs blew that call. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
That was a very bad call and ended up winning the game for Ohio State, and I think maybe officially got rid of Michigan's playoff hopes.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've done that game defined it, which sucks because they've been a great team all year long. But that game defined it. They won't make it. A lot's got to happen for them to get in.
Yeah, there's quite a
And
bit.
it most likely won't happen. Of course, it's
I
college football. And we've seen crazier things, but
Well, just looking at the AP Top 25, Michigan dropped down to number 5. Do you think Washington still has the strength of schedule to beat them out?
to beat Michigan out,
Yeah. I know Washington's one
Yes.
loss and Michigan's 2. Do you think
Mhm.
Washington still has the strength of schedule to beat them out?
yeah,
Alright.
I do. Who all has Michigan played this year?
Who always
Colorado, Penn State, and Ohio State. That's it.
Well,
Washington.
judging by that, that's a pretty tough schedule.
Sure.
Ohio State is number 2, and Penn State's 8.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I say, as if you are the college football playoff committee, well, once again, your job sucks.
You've got issues this week.
I don't. If
If
I
I
was
issues this week, and if chaos happens in the championship games next week, you're gonna hate going to work on Monday.
You know,
hate that a lot.
If I was watching that, if I was on that committee and I was watching that Penn State game, I would definitely be going for Michigan State because that would make their job so much easier. Because that would have sent Ohio State to the Big Ten playoffs.
Yeah.
They would have clinched the Big Ten East. Look at this, we got Big Ten down. Told you we'd get
Woo!
it.
Finally got it.
Michigan, all they had to do to clinch the Big Ten East was to win their game.
Yeah.
All they had to do. Ohio State had to win their game, and Penn State had to lose. And for Penn State to get it, Penn State had to win, and Ohio State had to lose. Had to win. So, Penn State ended up clinching the Big Ten East.
Penn State's in against
yeah.
Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship, and we kind of had this discussion earlier. If Penn State wins, where do you put the top 4?
Well, that basically comes down to is an 11-2 record with a conference title beat out a 10-1 record
11.
with no conference title.
11-1.
11-1.
And that one being against Penn State.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing is if they lost to Penn State goes on to win the championship, which they very well might. They very well may go in and beat Wisconsin. Yeah, beat Wisconsin for the Big Ten championship title. I think they got a chance at it. And what do you do in that position? I don't.
I'll leave that to the to Kirby Hook in the game.
But seriously, how hard did your job just get? Especially if Penn State wins next week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
I almost feel like the College Football Playoff Committee is rooting against Penn State next week to have
absolutely, because
have an
that's
easier
Yep.
selection of the top 4.
And if you leave Penn State out, with them winning their conference title,
Who do you put in?
shouldn't Ohio State honestly be left out? Since they didn't win their conference title and they lost to Penn State?
But I think what they're probably going to be looking at is the fact that they did beat Michigan, who was number 3. Sure, on a possible botched call, but you still won the game. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's rough. And if they do get looked at for the playoffs, for the top 4, then how bad does the Big 12 get screwed by not having a championship game this year? If Oklahoma goes on to beat Oklahoma State.
Here's my issue. To me, it shouldn't matter about conference championships. And I think a lot of that had to do with the BCS back in that era.
Mm-hmm.
If you won a conference championship, you were going to be considered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you were 1-loss Big 12 conference champion or undefeated, obviously SEC championship, you were going to be considered for those positions. Whereas now I feel like, I don't know, I'm just kind of mixed on it because I feel like Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, who obviously play for Bedlam this week,
Mm-hmm.
that game 1 is your Big 12 championship game, is what that one is. But I don't know how you can technically what.
I mean, technically it's not a Big 12 championship.
I mean, yeah, technically it's not, but like it decides the Big 12 champion this year. I don't get how you can not even consider that. USC, I didn't see the rankings, but I heard something like USC was ranked above.
USC is 10th.
Yeah, USC is number 10, and they have 3 losses compared to a 2-loss Oklahoma State team.
No, 9-2.
Where one of those losses for Oklahoma State shouldn't have happened against Western Michigan.
Oh, that was the one at the beginning of the year.
Central Michigan.
Central Michigan. That was at the beginning of the year. That was a botched call.
Yeah.
Once
Man,
again.
that is just a routine thing.
Dude, that has been the story of the year. That has been the story of the year this year, is botched calls and winning the games. Botched calls for the win. Literally.
Especially, and I hate to say it because obviously we're not the biggest fans of Oklahoma, but how can you They are literally right on the outside. They're number 7 right now in the college football playoff. I don't know how you can, especially if they win this week, I don't know how you can leave them out.
I don't know.
Sure, I may be a Big 12 homer, but it's something to think about.
Honestly,
Something
it
to think
is
about.
something to think about.
There you go.
Honestly, I'd drop Michigan out.
Michigan, I think with that loss is done.
Well, they're still
Let's
ranked number
assume-
5 in the AP.
Here's how they get in. If
Well, no, come
Clemson, Penn State, and Washington all lose their championship game, their conference championship games,
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's back in. That's the only way that happens.
Clemson plays Virginia Tech. So what's the chances of that?
Not very likely. That's what I'm saying. Michigan's done. They had to beat Ohio State to be in, especially
Yeah.
with that one loss already to Iowa. They had to beat Ohio State to get in.
Well, I was reading something. There was one of the AP top 25 voters that did vote for Michigan over Ohio State. I know it's just
it
one,
was,
but
yeah, and he justified it too, and he justified it a really, really well done way.
I didn't actually.
By the
read
way,
it and
speaking
see
of
it.
Ohio State, obviously the tragedy struck Ohio State's campus earlier this morning
Yeah.
with the active shooter on campus, and we just wanted to say that our thoughts and prayers are out to the families that were affected with that, and hopefully it's gotten all cleared up and all that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. Don't
just-
care how much you don't like them for winning that game. You gotta be with them.
yeah,
Time like
absolutely.
this.
So just
Thoughts
we
and
ask that you
prayers
guys
out
just
to them.
pray for them and just ask God to look over them.
Absolutely. So let's move on from the Big Ten. I'm done talking about them, man. I don't.
Chaos, man.
Absolutely.
College football playoff needs to be expanded.
Absolutely.
That's all I gotta say. Then you
It's
won't have
at
these issues.
least- yeah, no, you definitely wouldn't. You definitely would not have these issues. But we may not have this issue next year with the Big 12 championship coming back. So
Yeah, in Arlington.
Arlington, Jerry World, man.
That dude owns it all, man. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
So we've got Colorado and Washington for the Pac-12 championship coming up Friday. Actually, that's a Friday game.
Who is?
Colorado, Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So your Pac-12 championship.
Well, it looks like I know what I'm doing Friday
on
night.
Friday.
Nobody hit me up.
Saturday, you've got your ACC, the Clemson Virginia Tech game. Big Ten, Wisconsin, Penn State, and then your SEC championship, Alabama and Florida. Those are all actually Alabama, Florida. That's an afternoon game.
Oh, let's go Florida.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Like, even if they do
Even if
win,
they-
Alabama stays.
Yeah, Alabama's in. Whether
They're
or
not going anywhere.
It doesn't matter what happens this weekend.
Nope, absolutely not. I don't care if they win, they lose, they're staying. They're not going.
Yeah.
So
Which sucks, but then that just. I just don't want them to win this year. I don't want them to go undefeated. That would just be rough.
Props to them if they go undefeated. Props to Saban. Saban, by the way, man, his old team in the NFL looking pretty good. The Dolphins on a 6-game winning streak. I know that's a little off
Really?
right now, but yeah, the Dolphins are on a 6-game winning streak, which
Wow.
is the best since Saban has coached them. So
For being totally honest,
Yeah.
I did not know that Nick Saban coached the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he sure did.
learn something new every day, right?
So good job for Adam Gase and Jakeem Grant, our boy from
Yes.
Texas Tech.
Guns up. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
absolutely on the Dolphins team right now. They're looking really good. I
I
know
think
we
I saw
kinda-
something that he's like leading the league in average punt returns.
He's fast. I don't
It's
know
something
why
like that.
nobody
It's
looked at
ridiculous.
him. He's freaking
It's
fast. I don't care how
it's
small he
he's
is.
like 5'9" or something like that.
Yeah, he's a
tiny.
small guy.
You can't find the guy, and we actually had a play against UT back in 2015 that he literally hid behind. He's so small, he hid behind the offensive line and then scored from 43 yards out. So
He's fast,
that's
man.
that.
I don't care how small he is. I don't care what people say. That dude is fast. Let him play, and he's gonna make plays
That's exactly right.
all the time. Speaking of Texas Tech alumni in the NFL, DeAndre Washington and Pete Robinson with the Oakland Raiders got a chance to maybe.
Brandon Jackson.
Brandon Jackson.
P. Robinson's with
Yeah.
Seattle.
That's right. Got a chance at maybe the Super Bowl this year. Anyways, we're getting off track here.
Ooh, Tyler, you might be
We're
on.
getting-
Tyler might be on pace.
He might be.
He's our caller from our second episode, and he
After-
predicted a Cowboys Raiders Super Bowl. So he's
If they can step up the defense, after what I saw, blowing 17-point lead coming into the halftime to Carolina, who's looked like trash all year long, defense needs to step up.
yeah, sure. But
Anyways.
back on pace.
Sorry, we
This
got
is how
like
we
way
kinda
off.
roll. We just kind of go on tangents a lot. So
we got
we're not
way
very
off.
organized.
No, we were organized. We actually mapped this out, but
We
you
really
know,
did. Which is
one thing
weird.
leads
we
to
don't
another.
ever map anything out, so it's kind of cool. I mean, honestly kind of covered it all whenever we went over the notable scores there. Again, just kind of like the North Carolina State UNC bench clearing brawl that would just
Great game. Part of rivalry week.
that kind of stuff's fun for sports.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it sucks that a guy from University of North Carolina got ejected, but whatever.
It happens.
Rivalry.
Yeah, it happens. It's rivalry.
Over an incomplete pass. That's what gets me. Like,
That's all
it
you
wasn't
can
even
say.
a fumble that they thought it was. It was an incomplete pass. That's. Oh man, lots of tension between some of these teams. I think I was watching the Washington State game where there was a couple of times that they got in each other's face.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of
What do
it.
they
That's
call
the
that?
best
The
part. of it.
Apple Cup or something?
The Apple.
Let me just tell you,
Apple Cup.
there are some really weird like rivalry trophies and names to all these games and stuff like that. There are just some weird ones out there. Like, what was it? Mississippi, Ole Miss and Mississippi State have like the golden egg.
The goal, yeah,
It's
that
like
one's
their-
weird.
That one's like their trophy.
Speaking of which, Mississippi State
Mm.
kind of rolled
Mm.
over Ole Miss, 55-20.
Like at no point in that game was it close. Even at the start,
Yeah.
it was no like it just was not close.
Oh, another one that surprised me was Georgia Tech, UGA, University of Georgia,
Georgia Tech won that, dude.
by 1 point.
That was awesome.
By 1 point. That was, if you're a Georgia fan, man. Ooh,
I love.
rough day.
So Georgia Tech last year beat Florida State when Florida State was like 9-0 or something like that
Mm-hmm.
on a blocked field goal return for touchdown. You remember that?
I don't remember that. I
Dude.
remember them beating them. I don't remember it.
So that's how that one went down. And then this year it was late in the game. I don't know exactly how late, but they did it late in the game. Like I want to say closing seconds to beat Georgia, which is awesome. You gotta love those last second heroics that just win the game.
Unless you're on the side that's losing.
Yeah, unless
In
you're
which case you don't
unless
love
you're
it.
a bulldog. Tabitha. She already doesn't like me. I need to not go on that tangent there. Tabitha is a what would
Diehard Bulldog fan.
diehard bulldog fan, family relative.
Yeah. Cousin, I guess.
I guess for me, I don't really know what she is for
Yeah,
me.
cousin. Baby mama drama, something. I don't know.
Something.
It's
Related, kind of, somehow. Not really.
That's gonna take a
but she's
whole
huge
nother
Georgia
episode to
fan.
figure out.
Yeah, she's a huge Georgia fan. We were actually supposed to have a Georgia like football on the desk today, but
We didn't go pick it up.
we didn't pick it up on accident.
That's our bad.
On accident, so
Says him. I was actually going to. Just so you know.
it's okay, Tabitha.
Let's talk about the Heisman a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Talk about the Heisman. You know, saw something circulating around today that kind of got me to thinking, ooh, what is going on?
Something to think about, maybe.
It's definitely something to think about. Let me just throw some numbers at you. Patrick Mahomes is finished the season, of course, his last game against Baylor. Finished the season with 5,337 total yards and 53 total touchdowns.
That's a lot of yards.
He is only the 11th player in NCAA history to break 5,000 yards in a season passing. The 11th. Okay? Lamar Jackson, front runner for the Heisman right now, has got 4,928 total yards and 51 total touchdowns. So 409 less yards than Mahomes, 2 less touchdowns, and he is your front runner right now. I mean, to put it even in further perspective, the second best passer in the league, or the number 2 passer in the league, was Davis Webb, 757 more. Pat Mahomes had 757 more yards than him.
Wow.
So, what I'm wondering right now is why is Patrick Mahomes not being considered in the Heisman talk?
Before we answer that, I do just kind of want to have a quick fun fact of the day here for you. Patrick Mahomes' 5,337 total yards is roughly just over 3 miles covered.
Whew!
That's a lot, dude.
Wow!
And the majority of that is passing. Of course, he does do some running, but it's
Oh,
3.03 miles covered, whether it was passing the ball or throwing it, or passing the ball or running it. Hence total yards. But that's just a crazy thing to
That's
think about.
freaking ridiculous.
I know whenever at the start of the season when he was absolutely torching defenses for like 600 yards a game, he was on pace to throw for like 3.7 something miles.
Yep, I believe it.
That's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, I dare say
Oh,
he'd have gone
yeah.
over 6,000 this
Oh
year.
yeah, He would have broke the NCAA passing record.
No, I don't have a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, if he
And
wouldn't have
if,
got
and
hurt,
if he returns next year, I think he does it.
that means please come back.
Mahomes,
We need
if
that.
you just happen to be watching this, we need you to come back for next season. So,
But let's talk about
But
this.
yeah,
Why is he not being talked about for the Heisman? I mean, he's not even being looked at for an invitation to New York.
yeah, I don't get it.
This is-
Because if you look at guys like Deontay Foreman, who has the same exact record as, or UT has the same
UT,
exact record
yep.
as Tech does, but he's fourth in the Heisman voting right now. How is he fourth when Mahomes is putting up? Obviously, you can't compare running back
It's
to
running
quarterback.
back to quarterback,
but
yeah.
when Mahomes is putting up the numbers that he has, being the 11th person in NCAA history to pass for 5,000 yards,
Yeah.
how is it that a 5-7 UT player is fourth in the Heisman, but a 5-7 Tech player whose stats are arguably better isn't even in the talks?
It's got to do with this and with this.
That's exactly right. I like how you stick your thumb out. We will not throw hook 'em horns up in this place. That is satanic, basically. So,
That's the difference. I think
Yeah.
you said it spot on earlier today. I think it's comes down to who you play for, and it's a popularity contest.
yep, popularity contest is all it is. And that's why I hate the Heisman voting. Because if you go back to 2008, and we're just going to dive back into Texas Tech football way in the past, but Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree were obviously two of the best players in the country in 2008. We had a phenomenal season, all that kind of stuff. Graham Harrell led the nation in passing in every category, except for like one, I think, something like that. Didn't even make it to New York.
It's a
How
shame.
does that happen? When Sam Bradford, Oklahoma, that same year, goes on to win the Heisman,
That was the year that Bradford won.
and he had significantly lesser stats. It is a popularity contest, and that's all you can say about it. And that's why I hate the Heisman so much.
It sucks.
As much as I would love to see a Tech player get it,
Oh, absolutely. Especially
It's
when
just-
they've earned it by putting up the numbers.
yeah,
Week after week after week, whether
But-
you're winning games or losing games, you're putting up the numbers.
that's exactly right. But if you're gonna go off and play for a school like Tech or anything like that, you might as well kiss your Heisman hopes goodbye, because if you don't play for UT or Louisville or Alabama
Or
or
Oklahoma
any of those,
or-
Oklahoma, whoever it is, you're not gonna be considered.
That's unfortunate. I just don't get it. Maybe someday we'll be
We're a little bit
will be
bitter about
considered.
that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say extremely bitter. But I think this is pretty much wrapping up college football. We talk about a little NFL. I think we got some time.
Yeah,
left.
I got some time.
Talk
You
about
know,
some NFL.
let's see what
Before
happens this week.
before we talk about the NFL, I just want to say, Amanda's Creations.
Yes.
Check them out on Facebook. That's all you gotta do is go and search Amanda's Creations, and it'll pop up. It's a little business card, a little tan and blue business card. Just click on that, and you can see all kinds of stuff. They are actually sponsoring our raffle going on right now, which you can buy one ticket for $5. There's no limit to the number of tickets you can buy. It's for a chance to win one of two, just one, but we're giving out two Arctic powder-coated custom Yetis like this. I mean,
That one's
they can
cool.
pretty much
That one's really
they can
cool.
pretty much do whatever you want with them. They're
Yeah,
awesome.
That's exactly right.
They retail for about $50. You can actually see them on their website and get actual prices, or you can contact them and get prices through their Facebook page. But $5, put it in there, get your raffle ticket. You can find the raffle tickets on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/LR Sports Talk. Click on the Learn More button, go down, and it's on the promotions and events page. You can there's a PayPal button. We'll take credit card, PayPal account, whatever, get your tickets. And we will be drawing right now, as of now, unless we don't get the response, we're going to be drawing December 23rd for a winner. We're going to pick two winners randomly. We'll let you know. You don't have to be present to win, obviously. But go ahead and check that out. Amanda's Creations. They do so much more than cups. They do shirts, shoes, bows, if you're into that kind of thing for your little girl. All kinds of stuff. Go check them
There's
out.
a video on our Facebook page that actually shows a little bit of the creations that she does.
Yeah.
Some awesome looking stuff on there. There was actually an Arctic cup that I saw on there. It was the Texas flag.
Mm.
That was the coolest
Yeah,
one.
that was
dude.
pretty
That
cool.
was so cool.
It was the silver of the cup instead of the white. That was-
Yeah, it was impressive. So definitely go check out Amanda's Creations. They got some cool stuff out there. And obviously look into the raffle tickets if you guys want to have a chance at these 30-ounce Arctic Ramblers. Is that what they're called?
I guess Ramblers, Tumblers,
Something like that.
whatever they're called.
$5 for that.
Get you a chance at one. We cover shipping, so don't worry about the shipping. We'll
Yeah,
cover that
that's
if
exactly
you do end
right.
up winning, and it's the customization is 100% up to you. So go get your raffle tickets. All right, moving on
NFL.
to the NFL. Got to talk about the Texans real fast. No, this. Oh man, oh man! I'm so glad we paid $72 million for Brock Osweiler. Guy looks great. Guy looks absolutely great out there, doesn't he?
Man,
3
even
interceptions.
when he played for Denver, I wasn't even sold on him then.
No.
I wasn't that. He just wasn't that intriguing of a quarterback.
I think
So I
he's-
don't know why Houston would spend so much to get him.
I think they saw him as potentially a franchise quarterback, which for $72 million, you pretty much are a franchise quarterback
Yeah.
with or without the tag.
Yeah.
I don't. He's got the talent around him. The kid can't quit throwing interceptions. He gets under pressure. He makes stupid decisions. His arms kind of hadn't been top notch since he got hurt.
I'll say though, that guy can throw some heaters.
When he wants,
He can throw some fast. Like whenever
when he wants.
they played the Patriots in New England, like week 4 or something like that, week 5 on Thursday Night Football, and man, he was just launching those. It was insane. Kid's got an arm.
Well,
Reminds me of like a taller Jay Cutler.
oh, come on. Don't compare him to Cutler. Whatever you do.
You said interceptions. He does a lot of interceptions.
This is true.
Jay Cutler does a lot of interceptions.
This
Jay
is
Cutler
true.
has a cannon of an arm. Brock Osweiler has a cannon of an arm. Jay Cutler is just shorter, so
Okay.
it's a taller version of Jay Cutler.
Well, I'll give you that. But unfortunately, the Texans break their at-home winning streak of 5, and they fall to the Chargers 21-13. That was a hard game to watch. I thought for a second there when they kicked an onside kick in the fourth quarter, almost ending out the game. They kicked that field goal and then got the onside kick back. I thought for sure there was a chance, but you know, it just didn't happen for the boys. But you know, we're still a half game up on the division.
Speaking of the boys,
So that's
Dallas wins it against the Redskins on Thanksgiving afternoon.
okay. Man, that was a pretty intense game.
It
too.
was, dude. That was a real intense game. Again, I don't like the fact that Dallas is winning a lot, but obviously,
Dude, Zeke Elliott and Dallas Prescott, Dak Prescott.
Dallas was
Look, just outstanding. There's nothing else to say about him.
Ezekiel Elliott, I'm telling you, man, that dude is a scary runner. Like, if I were to get in front of him, he'd pop my head clean off. And I wouldn't even. It's almost like I wouldn't even feel it. He'd hit me so hard, I just wouldn't even feel it. It'd be insane.
Well, they're 10-1, so as of that game, that was 31-26 is how that game ended out. For Thanksgiving, that was a pretty good game.
That was a good game.
Even though I don't like watching the boys, I watch out. Watch out. I was actually going for the Redskins, but
Me too.
man, but Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
man, Kirk Cousins put up 129 points on point PPR league.
Did he really?
129 points.
God.
Yeah.
I needed Tom Brady to do that, but he did not. Dude, Tom Brady had like 7 points at the end of the first half in our league, and he ended up with like 63 or something
Well,
like that. It was awesome.
there was a chance coming into the week. He didn't practice twice last week because of a
Yeah.
hurt shoulder, or was it a knee?
I think it was his knee.
It may have
He
been.
was limping off the field.
Okay. It may have been a
against,
knee, but there was a chance that he wasn't going to be playing against the Jets. They ended up winning that by 1 touchdown, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 4 points. 22-17.
Did you catch the Kansas City game last night?
No, I did not.
Dude, that was a good game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Kansas
When
City
they
won
went
it,
into
didn't
overtime. Kansas City won it off of a doink field goal. It hit the upright, like the goalpost, and bounced like straight across.
It went
And
in.
it went in, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
That was
heard about
insane.
that. I heard about that. You know, if you're the NFL, you're looking at this. 4 points should be awarded for any kick that bounces off the uprights and goes in.
Dude, I'd be
To
down
make
for
it.
that.
4 points.
I'd be so down
That
for
would
that.
make kickoff or that would make field goals so much more interesting.
Because that would eliminate the 2 possession or the not 2 possession, but like if you're up by 4, you could just kick a field goal.
It bounces and jumps in.
Yeah.
Instead of
But
having
you got to
a
be like
touchdown.
so accurate at that.
Hey, man,
That'd be
we're
impressive.
paying these kickers anyways. Make them do something.
Dude, they can't even kick extra points, so you know what?
Ooh. This is true.
Throwing shade over here, I know, but
This is true.
right now Green Bay is beating the Eagles
Uh-oh.
in Philadelphia
Ooh.
on Monday Night Football. 14-10 right now with 9:43 left in the third quarter.
What was the score on that?
Ooh, I need Aaron Rodgers right now to throw the ball to Jordy Nelson. Oh! Oh! Yes! Oh, that was only 3 yards. Are you kidding me?
What was the score on that?
It is 14-10 right
14
now.
to 10.
And they're in the red zone.
I gotta say, whether the Packers win or lose, it doesn't look good for Texans next week playing the Packers at Lambeau.
I don't know, dude. The Packers have kind of sucked this year.
This is true, but at what point
There's
does
something
Aaron
in that
Rodgers finally
organization.
come back and
Just-
start being the Aaron Rodgers we used to know and love?
Well, I mean, he's had a good season so far.
Well,
It's
him as
the
a
rest
person.
of the team has just been letting down. So.
This is true. But
And
Anyways,
they only
you're-
get a field goal out of it. That's awesome.
your
Yes.
Oakland Raiders stay on top of the AFC West
This is very true. Yes.
with a 9-2 record, same as the Patriots, I believe, 9-2.
Yep.
Yep. Both of them sitting on top of the AFC right now. Texans, of course, 6-5 now, half a game ahead of Tennessee, who is 5-5.
Dude,
right now.
Marcus Mariota's the real deal. Let me just tell you.
I agree. I just need him to start losing some games.
He's the real deal.
I need him to start losing some games so that the Texans can make it.
No. I'm kind of going for the Titans. He's got 34 red zone touchdowns now. He's got 34 red zone touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
That's ridiculous.
Dude, I saw that game.
The Tampa Bay, Seattle.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's hungry, man. I told you I like
can't
James
believe
Winston from
Seattle-
the start.
I can't believe Seattle only got 5 points.
Russell Wilson is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender this year, right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking now?
That wasn't. I can understand that loss. Now, if they go off and lose like 2 of the next 3,
Okay.
then I'm not forgiving them anymore.
Tampa
So-
Bay, man, I'm telling you, I jumped on the Jameis Winston. I jumped on that
Yeah.
bandwagon early. So.
Yes, you did.
I'm gonna stick with it. That guy's hungry. Tampa's hungry. It's a good looking team out there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
I
looks
think
like we're about to wrap it up here. Last few things here. Texas Tech has got a lot to look over into the offseason here. Athletics Director Kirby Holcutt gave Cliff Kingsbury the nod for 1 more year. Basically said that on game day, Cliff's still going to be calling the offensive plays and stuff like that, but throughout the week and leading up to the game, he's going to have to be the AD said this, that Kingsbury's going to be delegating that kind of stuff to different offensive units and stuff like that as far as coaches go, and he's going to have to be focusing more on the defense as week-to-week preparations go. So
Good.
he's not going to be all about the offense. He's going to be on both sides of the ball, which is what a head coach should be doing in the first place.
Absolutely, you're a head coach, not an
So,
offensive coordinator.
that's
Get on both
exactly
sides of the ball.
That's
why
exactly
you
right.
have David Gibbs and your offensive coordinator out there.
Which I hope David Gibbs comes back for another year. His contract, this was his last year on his contract, so they have to re-sign him.
I think he actually got the. I think I saw something earlier today that said they're keeping Gibbs, which
I like Gibbs.
I don't like his defense.
You don't?
I don't like his defense.
But what defense are you really going to like in the Big 12? In all honesty. Whose
This is
defense can you go week to week and say, man,
I will
that's a
take-
good defense?
I will take Texas Tech's defense against Baylor every week
Yeah.
because the defense on that game actually stepped up.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can see that every single week next season,
I'd be very happy with
and
that.
Mahomes comes back, we would win the Big 12.
Oh, Mahomes, please come back.
Please,
Just watch
for
this
the love of
video.
God, Mahomes come back.
Just a couple guys, man. That's our opinion. We think you should stay at Texas Tech instead of
If
going
he-
to Cleveland, which is what
if
might
he
happen.
knows he gets a first round pick, he's gonna go.
Yeah.
And I think Cliff's already. I don't know if you saw the game or not at the end there, but as Cliff and Patrick walked off the field, it looked almost like
This is our
that
last
was
game.
the end. Like as they walked off together, it was like, you know what, it's been a fun ride, but this is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I hate to say it, but we'll find out
That's exactly
sooner
right.
or later. So,
So,
all right. So, this has been Robert Wright,
and I'm Levi Fair.
and this has been LNR Sports Talk.